It was the royal reunion 19 months in the making. Prince Harry has met with King Charles at Clarence House.
Just when it seemed like the tension between Prince Harry and the royal family was finally calming down.
The Prince is in the UK for a 4-day visit to support charity projects. It's not known yet whether he'll see his father, the King, whilst he's here.
A new report has thrown everything into chaos, and this time, it's more shocking than anyone expected. King Charles has just refused to allow Archie and Lilibet into Kensington Palace. Many believe this decision was triggered by Harry and Meghan's repeated public criticism of the royal family. But what caught everyone off guard was Harry's reaction. But why would King Charles turn his grandchildren away? And how did Harry react to this? Join us as we uncover why King Charles refused Archie and Lilibet from the palace. Why King Charles refused Archie and Lilibet at Kensington Palace. There were reports that King Charles reportedly declined to meet with his son, Prince Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, at Kensington Palace. Although much of the information regarding the royal family's private interactions remains speculative, especially given the tense relationships within the family. In recent years, this incident reportedly occurred when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle visited the UK for an event.
Back with our GMA cover story, Prince Harry is back in the UK, with many wondering if he's going to see King Charles for the first time in more than a year.
But there's more to the story, and it raises deeper questions. According to some reports, King Charles had already planned his schedule around his other commitments, and may not have been available for a private meeting with the Sussex family. There were also suggestions that King Charles's relationship with Harry and Meghan remained distant, particularly after their controversial departure from royal duties.
Was the move about getting away from the UK press, because the press is, is everywhere, or was the move because you weren't getting enough support from the firm?
It was both.
Some royal commentators pointed out that the king had been balancing an especially heavy schedule at the time, including charity visits and constitutional meetings, which left little room for personal encounters. Another detail that surfaced was the issue of logistics. Reports suggested that Harry and Meghan were staying at Frogmore Cottage during that visit, while Charles was based at Clarence House and Sandringham for parts of his engagements. This physical distance, combined with strained relations, may have made the idea of a casual family meeting less likely. Additionally, insiders claimed that Charles was cautious about granting private time with Archie and Lilibet without clear arrangements, fearing that such a meeting could be misrepresented in the media or later recounted in ways that might reignite family tensions. But beyond the controversial headlines about King Charles refusing to see Archie and Lilibet at Kensington Palace, there's a side of the story the public rarely sees, and it just might shock you. King Charles has often been described as a man of duty first, but in his private life, he has also shown a softer role as a grandfather. Even though he has not always agreed with his sons, both Prince William and Prince Harry, there's little doubt that he holds affection for their children. The disagreements between the father and his sons have often affected how people see the royal family. But behind all that, he has still tried to be a loving grandparent, even when the situation made it hard. When Prince William and Catherine welcomed Prince George in 2013, Charles was open about his joy. He spoke of the joy of holding his first grandchild and how it gave him a new perspective on family. It was an important moment because it showed a side of him rarely seen in public. Later, he said that the birth of George made him think seriously about the kind of world his grandchildren would grow up in. This showed that he cared not just as a grandfather, but also as someone preparing to be king. As Princess Charlotte was born in 2015, Charles expressed his delight once again, even joking about hoping for a granddaughter before her arrival. After her birth, he was seen visiting the family and giving his support to William and Catherine as they adjusted to life with 2 children. His words about wanting a granddaughter showed a very human wish. The arrival of Prince Louis in 2018 continued to expand Charles's role as a grandfather. While his schedule often kept him busy, he still spoke warmly about his grandchildren, describing them as sources of great happiness. During interviews, he admitted that his duties sometimes prevented him from spending as much time with them as he would like. A rare moment of honesty that revealed both the pull of royal responsibility and the desire for ordinary family life. Still, when he did spend time with George, Charlotte, and Louis, it was noted that he enjoyed reading stories to them and watching them grow, small but meaningful gestures that pointed to his caring side. With Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children, the relationship was more complex, but the affection was still there. When Archie was born in 2019, Charles celebrated the arrival of his grandson, reportedly expressing joy at welcoming another member to the family. Even though tensions between Harry and the royal household were beginning to show, Charles made a point of recognizing Archie's place in the family. It was said he enjoyed moments with the young boy, even if those opportunities were fewer compared to William's children, who lived much closer. By the time Lilibet was born in 2021, the situation had become even more strained. Harry and Meghan were living in California, and the distance made it difficult for Charles to build the same closeness with her as he had with George, Charlotte, and Louis. However, he still acknowledged her birth warmly, and insiders noted that he had a desire to know both Archie and Lilibet better. Despite the political and personal strains that surrounded their parents, Charles appeared careful not to direct frustration at the children themselves. Camila, now Queen Consort, has also been a part of these family ties. She has often been seen as a steady hand in the lives of the grandchildren. Though not their biological grandmother, she has shown kindness to both William's and Harry's children. For William's children, she has sometimes been present at family gatherings, offering the gentle warmth of someone who respects their place in the family. For Archie and Lilibet, her moments have been more private, but there have been reports that she encouraged Charles to keep his bond with them, showing she understood the importance of family, even in difficult times. To make visits feel special, Charles was also said to have set up small touches for his grandchildren at Clarence's house, including a room with children's books and even a little play area. These details showed that he wanted them to feel at ease and to think of time with him and Camila as something happy and familiar, not distant or formal. Still, the rumors about Charles's relationship with Archie and Lilibet can't be ignored. Many believe the issue isn't really about the children, but more about the tension between Charles and Harry. Moving to California, the interviews Harry and Meghan gave and their fights with the royal family all created distance that made it harder to stay close. For many people watching, it looks like the distance between Charles and his grandchildren isn't because he doesn't care. It's because of the ongoing problems with their father. King Charles is seen by many as a loving grandfather, but he has to balance his personal feelings with royal responsibilities, all while dealing with the painful distance from his younger son. While he's shown love and closeness to William's children, the reported gap between him and Harry's children likely comes from the broken relationship with Harry himself. And that brings us to the real question: how did it all start? Stay tuned, because we're about to reveal what you didn't know about Prince Harry's rift with the royal family. The truth about Prince Harry's problem with the royals. The conflict between Prince Harry and the royal family can be traced back to 2016, when his relationship with Meghan Markle first became public. At the time, Harry was one of the most popular royals, often seen as the modern, approachable face of the monarchy. But once his romance with Meghan began, a new tension entered the picture. The media immediately latched onto Meghan's background. She was an American actress, divorced, biracial, and independent in ways that clashed with traditional royal expectations. The press coverage often carried racial undertones and sexist commentary, painting her as an outsider unfit for the royal family. In November 2016, Harry took the rare step of issuing a public statement condemning the harassment Meghan faced, accusing both the press and online trolls of racism and abuse. His anger was not just directed at the tabloids, but also at the monarch itself, which he felt failed to defend her. This moment marked the first open crack between Harry, the palace, and the press. By late 2017, when Harry and Meghan announced their engagement, the divisions were already visible behind the scenes. The couple's first joint interview revealed their excitement, but palace insiders described early difficulties. Meghan's independent streak, shaped by her years in Hollywood and her activism, sometimes clashed with the traditions of the royal household. Reports circulated that some staff found her demanding and struggled to adapt to her direct style. Comparisons to Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, were inevitable. While Kate had spent years slowly integrating into royal life, Meghan was expected to adapt instantly. These comparisons fueled gossip that quickly became damaging. In 2018, as Meghan prepared for the royal wedding, the first stories of a rift between Meghan and Kate dominated the tabloids. The most infamous claim Meghan had made Kate cry during a disagreement over bridesmaid dresses. Years later, Meghan clarified in an interview that it was actually Kate who had upset her, though Kate later apologized. Regardless of the truth, the story became symbolic of the way the press framed the two women as enemies. It was no longer just about Meghan and her adjustment to royal life, but about supposed divisions between the brothers and their wives. The May 2018 wedding was celebrated around the world, but it was also surrounded by family drama. Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, staged paparazzi photos ahead of the wedding and later claimed health issues prevented him from attending, creating a media circus that overshadowed some of the joy.
The couple is asking for understanding and respect after Meghan Markle's father says he will no longer attend the wedding.
Meghan walked down the aisle accompanied by Prince Charles, but the absence of her father lingered. Behind the scenes, reports emerged of Harry clashing with aides over what he saw as their mishandling of Meghan's public image. He grew frustrated that the family would not publicly defend her against unfair press attacks. But it didn't end there. The birth of Archie Harrison in May 2019 marked another turning point. While the public celebrated, Meghan and Harry expressed growing frustration with how they were treated. Meghan gave candid interviews about the challenges of new motherhood under relentless scrutiny, admitting she felt unsupported and vulnerable. The couple also hinted at racism within media coverage, which focused on Meghan's background more aggressively than on other royals. Harry publicly admitted that he and William were now on different paths. Questions about Archie's title and safety raised discussion about whether the royal family was treating Harry and Meghan unfairly compared to William and Kate. Later in 2019, Harry and Meghan escalated their fight by taking legal action against the press. Meghan sued the Mail on Sunday for publishing a private letter she had written to her father, while Harry issued a strong statement comparing the treatment of his wife to the harassment his mother, Princess Diana, had endured. For the royal family, this was deeply uncomfortable. Traditionally, the monarchy avoided direct confrontation with the media, preferring quiet negotiations. Harry's willingness to go public with his anger broke from these traditions. By January 2020, the situation reached a breaking point. Without warning, Harry and Meghan announced they would step back from senior royal duties and split their time between North America and the UK.
Video published to his Sussex Royal Instagram page, Prince Harry has just publicly addressed the decision by him and his wife Meghan to leave their royal lives behind.
The announcement surprised many in the royal family, with reports saying even the Queen didn't see it coming. Called Megxit, it was a move no one had made before and began the couple's official break from the royal family. It wasn't just about moving away, it was a clear message that Harry no longer wanted the royal role he had lived with all his life. The fallout led to the so-called Sandringham Summit later that month, where the Queen, Prince Charles, Prince William, and Harry met to negotiate terms. The compromise was that Harry and Meghan could no longer use their titles or officially represent the Queen, though they were free to pursue private income. While presented as an agreement, it left bitterness on both sides. Harry and Meghan felt forced out, while the monarch framed it as their choice to step away. Soon after, Harry and Meghan relocated first to Canada, then to California. Moving away from the UK showed that Harry and Meghan wanted to be independent, but it also made people back home more suspicious. Their big deals with Netflix and Spotify, worth millions, made some people say they were using their royal names to make money. But others felt the couple had no choice, since the royal family had stopped supporting them financially. Then in March 2021, Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey brought everything into the open. Meghan shared that she had felt so sad as a royal that she thought about ending her life. But when she asked for help, palace staff said no. She also said that someone in the family asked how dark Archie's skin might be before he was born. Harry said his bond with his father had broken and that he felt stuck in the royal system. The interview shocked people around the world and made the royal family seem out of touch and unsupportive. Even though the palace responded by saying people remember things differently, the accusations of racism and lack of care damaged how the public sees the royal family. When Prince Philip died in April 2021, Harry returned to the UK for the funeral. Many speculated this might provide an opportunity for reconciliation, particularly with William and Charles. While the brothers were seen speaking briefly, insiders suggested the conversations were limited and no meaningful progress was made. The funeral made it clear how strained things were, as many people hoped for peace, but the deep personal issues in the family were hard to ignore. When Harry's book Spare came out in January 2023, things got even worse. He wrote about always feeling like the spare while William was the heir. He shared stories of rivalry with his brother, including a fight between them. He also talked about his anger toward King Charles's parenting and said Camila had shared stories with the press to make herself look better. This, along with the Netflix series Harry and Meghan, gave their side of the story, but also pushed them further away from the royal family. The things Harry shared were so personal and hurtful that it made peace seem unlikely. When King Charles was crowned in May 2023, Harry came to the ceremony alone. Meghan stayed in California to be with the kids and avoid media attention. Harry didn't take part in any royal duties. He sat with the crowd and left quickly. His low profile at the event showed how far apart he now is from the royal family, especially from William. As of 2024 and into 2025, not much has changed. Harry and Meghan still live in California with their children, working on media and charity projects. Harry is said to have some contact with King Charles, but it's limited and formal. Things with William are much worse, with no sign of a fix. People still wonder if time will help them heal, especially as Charles deals with being king and William prepares to take over someday. But now, a new controversy has stirred even more debate. There are growing claims that Prince Harry could be stripped of his royal titles and remaining privileges. It's a bold move that raises serious questions. Could it really happen? Let's find out. The future of Prince Harry's royal titles and privileges. Royal titles in Britain is one that has deep roots in tradition and law, and it reflects the balance between privilege and responsibility within the monarchy. Royal titles are not simply ceremonial words attached to a person's name. They carry with them legal recognition, social standing, and symbolic weight. In the United Kingdom, titles such as Prince, Princess, Duke, and Duchess are granted by the reigning monarch. The Queen or King is the only person with the authority to give such titles, usually at birth or marriage. For example, When Prince William married Catherine Middleton in 2011, the late Queen Elizabeth granted them the titles of Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Similarly, when Prince Harry married Meghan Markle in 2018, he was made the Duke of Sussex and Meghan became the Duchess of Sussex. These titles are not automatically passed down, but are given as a special gift by the monarch. Titles can also be taken away, but this happens much less often. Losing a royal title usually needs either a law passed by Parliament or a direct decision from the monarch. It mostly happens after serious problems, scandals, or big political changes. History gives some examples. During World War I, King George V took away British titles from German relatives because of strong anti-German feelings. A famous modern case is King Edward VIII, who gave up being king in 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson. He had to leave the throne but kept the title Duke of Windsor, while his wife was not given the title Her Royal Highness. This shows that keeping or losing a title depends a lot on the monarch's choice and the political situation at the time. Prince Harry's case is more complicated. In 2020, he and Meghan Markle said they would step back from being senior members of the royal family. So many wondered if Harry lost his titles of Prince Harry and Duke of Sussex because of this. The truth is, no, he did not lose them. Harry was given the title Prince by birth, as the son of Prince Charles and grandson of Queen Elizabeth. The Duke of Sussex title was given to him on his wedding day. Titles like these are not taken away just because someone stops working as a royal. Only the monarch can remove those titles, and King Charles, even with tensions, chose not to do so. So even though Harry stopped working for the royal family, he is still legally Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. However, stepping back came with big consequences. Even though Harry kept his titles, he lost the right to use His Royal Highness in an official way. This means he can't call himself His Royal Highness Prince Harry when doing anything related to royal work. He and Meghan also lost the right to represent the monarch, get public money, or take part in official royal events. This was a huge change, as their lives had always been built around royal duties. But it's not just about the titles, there's even more at stake. One of the biggest and most debated issues was their security. As a senior royal, Harry and his family were given protection paid for by taxpayers. This helped keep them safe from threats and allowed them to live with some level of security, even with the constant media attention. But once they stepped down, that protection was taken away, because they were no longer working royals. Harry was very upset by this, saying the threats hadn't gone away just because he left his royal role. The loss of security became one of Harry's biggest fights with the British system.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
He spoke publicly about his worries for Meghan and their children's safety, especially with the media always watching them. He offered to pay for police protection himself while in the UK, but the Home Office said no. They explained that police protection can't be bought like a private service because it uses public resources and follows strict rules. Harry then took legal action to try to change the decision, saying his family was in danger. But the case has gone on for years, and courts have kept ruling against him. In 2023, a judge agreed with the government, saying Harry could hire private security, but he wouldn't get the same kind of protection as working royals. This was a hard result for him, showing how much had changed since he stepped down. Besides losing security, Harry and Meghan also gave up their special roles like patronages and military titles. This was especially painful for Harry. He had served in the British Army for 10 years and held important positions connected to veterans and military charities. After stepping back, those roles were taken away and given to other working royals. Financially, stepping back also meant no more support from the sovereign grant. the fund that covers official duties. Harry and Meghan had to become financially independent, which they did by securing book deals, signing contracts with streaming platforms like Netflix and Spotify, and pursuing their own projects. While this gave them more freedom, it also made it clear that they were no longer part of the royal system that once protected and supported them. Living in California showed just how far they had stepped away from the usual royal life. Even with everything that's happened, Harry still has the title Duke of Sussex, and he's still Prince Harry by birth. But in many ways, the special benefits that came with those titles are now gone. He still has the names, but not the power, responsibilities, or protection they used to bring. Do you believe King Charles actually prevented Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, from visiting the palace? Share your opinions with us in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click the following video on your screen, and you will enjoy it.